Okay, boys and girls, we're going to do part 2 of my target stand. Story of my life is that I spent all my time trying to build something out of something else. So I happened to be roaming around Fleet Farm, and hopefully this is showing up on camera. This is a fiberglass plastic rod. It's meant to be for an electric fence, but it's 3/8 of an inch. It's pretty solid. It's not going to sag like the coat hanger. It's 48 inches, so I'll probably have to cut it down to 36. So I drilled a couple 3/8 inch holes, which I'll show you in a second. I thought, well, I want to have a stop on it. So I got this out of plumbing. It was 73 cents. And it's a little big to go on here. But I figure I'll just fill it with some caulking, push it on, wait for it to dry, and I'll drill a little hole and put a screw in it. And then I can have a handle to push this into and out of my stand, which I'll show you in a second. But that brings up a problem. I can't get a clothespin on there, or I can't get a clothespin on there the way the clothespin is. So these are cable ties. I think they were like $1.50 for a bunch of them. You can see I drilled my lights are from the wrong direction here. Drilled a hole in a clothespin. Actually, you can take these clothespins apart. They're hard to get back together, but you can do it. And I put a machine screw, a nut, couple washers, and then this plastic. And the plastic is on both sides. Hopefully that'll reinforce the... and of course I added the nail. This side is a 16th, which is just smaller than I think it's a 16 gauge nail. And then this is about 2 sizes larger. Let's see if we can get it on camera so you can actually see the nail there. Hopefully that's showing up. And it goes through, but doesn't quite come out the other side. And this is a 1/2 inch, so it will slide over the, let's put it this way, will slide over the 3/8, and you could use that for your spinning targets. But my original thought was these were about $1.88, giant paper clips, and these are spring steel. They've got some serious tension on them. So I took one, drilled a hole here and about 2-3 sizes larger, a hole there, so it would mate, and I can, hopefully you can, again my lights are from the wrong direction, but hopefully you can see that. Unfortunately I drilled the screw hole a little too big, so the threads aren't really cutting in, but that's a small matter. It still stays in place, and I can still get it to join together. So that will work for the pop can. I can get the screw to go through and hold the pop can, and this giant thing will fit on here. So it may not be a spinner target, but it'll be a reactive target. So there's a couple options there. And of course you can use these to hang paper targets. Just flip these up, and probably would only need one per target. Clip the paper in here, and that's again, that's spring steel. That's going to hold pretty tight. By the way, if you're going to drill through this, plan on taking a long time. It's hard to drill through this spring steel what I did was, hold on a second here. These are just scrap boards, but let's try it with this one. Clamp this onto here so the top and bottom would be a little more aligned than I drilled. But boy, drilling through that spring steel is tough. It took a long time. And then doing the same thing coming out the bottom. And then of course clamped onto this board. Once I drill all the way through, I just flip it over and drill a larger size hole. Here, I'm going to adjust my lights here. See if that helps any. Hopefully that's not going to screw up my camera. It's not much better. I'll show you this light stand too. That's another project of building something out of something else. So anyhow, this rod was $1.39. It's pretty nice. Let me see. Ooh, I got my checkbook here. You could use wooden rods, and I priced those at Home Depot. Wrote them down here somewhere. Sorry for not being more organized. I never have a decent piece of paper to write notes on. Here we are. So, a 3/8, that's what this is, 3/8. 3-inch oak dowel, 36 inches, $1.25. 1/4-inch oak dowel, 36 inches, $1.10. 3/8 pine, 48 inches, 88 cents. 1/4-inch pine, 84 cents, also 48 inches. So if you want an alternative to this fiberglass or plastic rod, again, this is an electric fence post, so $1.39. So of course you're going to have a problem trying to get this big clip onto a tin can and get it to hold. Well, that might hold pretty well, but you might end up shooting the clip. Sorry, I can't actually see my camera here, so I don't know if I'm in frame or not. But that's why I invented this. You know, this will got to make sure that both sides of the clothespin line up, and that'll work as a spinner target with these on. I'm not sure how durable this is going to be. These clothespins aren't, you know, they aren't the strongest wood, but clothespins are cheap. I also made some clothespins, and hopefully you can see. Again, I can't see my viewfinder. Hopefully you can see the nail here. I snipped the nail off and put a little dab of super glue on there. But I actually think I like the ones with the, let's see if there's any hope of getting enough light on that for you to get a good look at it. But I think I like these because if the pin walks out or whatever, you can always push it in or pull it out, whatever you need. These are 16th, and that was just right for a 16 gauge finishing nail, 1.25 inches. Then I drilled the far side like one size larger to make it a little easier to get them to mate up. So let me readjust my camera. Sorry, one of these days I'm actually going to learn how to do video editing, and then I won't have to have these rough videos. So I should probably readjust my lighting, but push this through a 3/8 inch hole, and then where is the one with the screw in it? That'll slide on here. Or you can put the one with a clothespin on it, and hopefully my lighting isn't too messed up here. And if this has got a tapered end, it's a little easier to find the hole on the other side. And let's see if you can actually see this. I don't know. Let me. This curves down, so it's not going to sit in the center. It's going to hang this way or this way. Again, my lights are all messed up. You can see here. So I'm not sure how that's going to work with paper targets. Sorry for not being more organized. I actually thought I was organized, but apparently not. So these heavy clips, there may be going to be a problem for paper targets. The targets are going to either hang forward or hang back, but I guess that works out okay. And for the spinning targets, that would just be down. I can't see my camera. The viewfinder's on the far side of the camera. So again, this is the one with the screw in it, and I'll have to fix that. But for the spinning targets, let's get this in here. Now I'll cut this down to from 36 to 48 and put this, I'm blocking one of my lights, put this T-handle on the end. So spinning targets. And get the clothespins lined up so that the nail goes into the hole. And then you've got, they may not be spinning targets, but they'll be reactive targets. Am I still in frame? Yeah, okay. So anyhow, really this is all about ingenuity. Being able to make something out of something else, like I said. Again, none of these parts cost all that much, and you can see that plastic bar, being a lot heavier, hangs a lot straighter than that wire coat hanger. They did have thin wire rods. Am I still reasonably in frame here? Yeah. But the rods were about $4 and they wouldn't fit through the clothespin hole, so that shot that idea down. But one additional way of making this target, the blue lines in my end frame, the blue lines mark the holes for the coat hanger, and the red lines mark the holes for the plastic bar. And you promise not to judge my housekeeping. I'll show you my light stand. One by 4s down at the bottom. Let me see if I can fix this lighting a bit so it's not quite so bad. I don't want it shining directly in the camera. But down at the bottom, double thickness 1x4s made into a cross, and then these bottom two pieces here and here are just plumbing fixtures, and from here up are electric lighting conduit. There's a junction down at the bottom where the iron pipe meets the steel conduit. Let me see if I can zoom in. Give you, I think that's as far as I can zoom. And of course I put the electrical boxes on there. You know, the electrical standards people will probably freak out about that, but I'm okay with it. Then we come to the junction here, which is just joining 3/4 and 1/2 inch, and I can loosen and tighten this nut and extend this pole. Then we go up to the top. There's a, this is 1 1/4 or 1 1/2 T, and then I found this junction that would let it fit onto a 1/2 inch. These are two 24-inch pipes. They're not fastened in. And then just, you know, brooder house lights that clamp on there, and I can move them in or move them out or have them both on one side or whatever. So again, my whole life is about making something out of something else. But that's not such a bad life to live. So that's the end of this video. The 3/8 bar, like I said, it was $1.39. For that much money, I can't argue. Drilling through the steel, the spring steel of those heavy clips was, I mean, it took like half an hour to get through that spring steel, so I think I'd be more likely to go with the cable clamp into a clothespin. And that spins. I think that's going to work even for, this is a energy drink can. You know, it's going to work pretty good for that. So, because the weather's all messed up, it's about 20 degrees right now. Whoops. So I haven't been able to take this out and test it out, but first thing in the spring I'm going to give it a shot. But on general principle, I think you can see what I was going for. And I think you can see that this simple frame with a little ingenuity can be used in quite a variety of ways. So that's just one more addition. Thank you for watching, and hopefully this has given you some ideas for building your own target frames. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next video.